Ever since the creation of AI 200 years ago, nearly everyone uses it to create their own version of themselves as Simpsons characters. That's clever, I guess, but Scott and Andy aim to be more unique. Come with me as we travel back to the past for the Throne Zone. Yabba dabba do! Yabba dabba do!
The Throne Zone 2025 with Scott and Andy. The Throne Zone 2025 with Scott and Andy. The Throne Zone 2025 with Scott and Andy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Throne Zone 2025, Week 5. It's the weekly wrap-up of the greatest fantasy football league in all of existence, the League of Thrones. I'm Andy.
And I'm Scott.
Welcome to the Week 5 action. I will point out, by the way, for those of you that are curious, whose idea was this? Today, yabba dabba doo, this was Scott's idea. When I said, Scott, you realize we can take this show and put it anywhere. He said, how about the Flintstones? And I thought, now that's fucking clever. I would have probably just been predictive and gone with the Simpsons. So kudos to Scott, yabba dabba doo. And let's move on to game number 1.
Game number 1.
All right, game number 1. The bad guys lose to the Maharaja's Madness. The Maharaja goes to 4-1, and that was not really a close game. 147 to 112. There's a lot that can be said, but not really. The bad guys would have lost even if they were at 100%. And Justin, he could have only scored a hell of a lot more if he was at 100%, but it would have been unnecessary.
Yeah, Justin only cost himself a no mercy rule. He could have no mercy ruled Jacob. Poor Jacob was the third lowest score of the week, so he wasn't going to get anything this week from Justin. Justin refuses to budge. Of course, all his players are like, I looked at his roster, it's like an all-star team. I was going to try to trade with him this week, but why even try? He's got everybody he needs, so it's just, what can we do about Justin? Not much.
I think when it comes to Justin, we have to hope for a return to COVID, and perhaps maybe that wipes out some of his roster, because, yeah, it's his league. We're all living in it, and I'm going to keep saying that as a way of jinxing him.
Well, everybody in the league's getting players hurt, but it doesn't seem like Justin's getting anybody hurt. They're all doing well on his team, and I just don't get it. I do want to say that the bad guys finally took my advice and moved away from Baltimore. It was good they picked up Jacksonville this week, because if they'd stuck with Baltimore, they got another negative 6 points, another $10 charge. But he moved away from Baltimore, so good for you, Jacob. I'm glad that you're awake and listening out there.
Yeah, I did have that in my notes. That one good thing for Jacob was that he did drop the Baltimore defense. So if he wants to give you credit for it, all the power to him. But
well, take a look at the standings. You can see there, the Baltimore is the number 32 ranked defense.
Wow, that's how things have changed. All right. Let's stop kissing Justin's ass and let's stop making fun of the bad guys. And let's move on to game number 2.
Game number 2.
All right, game number 2 also gives us a team that winds up 4-1 when everything is over. Double Trouble takes a whooping to the Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies, they were already at 100%, so kudos to you. But that also means you don't have shit on your bench. And I think if Double Trouble had gotten to 100% there, they only get about 7 more points. So it was just a good, solid game by Double Trouble. By the way, both Justin and Double Trouble, they're kind of close. 147 to 112 for Justin and 153 to 112 for Skip and Alex. So I don't know what that means, but I noticed it.
Yeah, Double Trouble's they were 95.5%, so they were only 5% away from starting there at 100%. Like you say, the Muppet Babies got nobody on their bench. Everybody's either hurt or on a bye week, or I think the Muppet Baby spent too much time helping his dad than he did actually managing his own team. Although, it's easy to submit a lineup when there's the only players that you can start. So Double Trouble is double digits, every single player except for his defense, so living up to their name title. And I'm pretty sick of it, Andy. Pretty damn sick of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned that no matter what happens at the end of the season, the trophy's going to be in the Croninger hands. I mean, percentage-wise, they've got 2 teams in this league, so why not? But God damn it. What are they teaching you at Auburn?
Yeah. Well, Double Trouble beat him down like a Arnold the Paperboy.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, before we get into our third game, since we just featured a game with Connor, and Connor has yet to provide us with any personal facts about himself, I think it's time that we get into our Connor Fact of the Week.
During the League of Thrones draft, Connor promised to provide a weekly personal fact about himself. Since he has failed to do this, we will provide one for him.
Connor made it clear that he is not in high school. However, he hasn't said if he graduated high school. Today we are moving from a Connor fact to a Connor rumor. The rumor is that Connor dropped out of school to be a roadie for a K-pop band. Until we hear differently from Connor, consider it a fact.
Today's Connor fact has been sponsored by nobody. None of you cheap bastards ponied up the dough for an ad. I'm very disappointed in you. But while I have your attention, I'll take the opportunity to remind you that fudge is coming. That's right, fudge is coming. If anybody has any kind of food allergy that Andy needs to know about, let him know soon. And make sure all of your mailing information is correct on the group info sheet. Until next week, I'm Samuel L. Jackson, reminding you that I will pretty much say anything for $5.
You know, Andy, I've been thinking, hearing these facts of the week every week, that they're kind of tame. I think Connor's a big boy, as we've established. He's not in high school anymore. I think he can handle a little bit more. I don't know, maybe it's something we can think about in the future, but I don't know. I think we should be giving him a little bit more of the punch in the gut for not providing his own facts.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I mean, the whole spirit of this is to have fun, but it is also to shame him into not saying a fucking word and presenting us with these Connor facts that he promised that he would. So I did have another one on deck that I wasn't sure if I was going to use because I thought maybe it was a little too raw and push the envelope, but what else am I going to do with it? So here, let's go to that Connor fact right now.
You already know the drill. Here's another fact about Connor. This one isn't even sponsored.
You want to push the envelope? Okay, let's see if this doesn't seem a little less tame. One time on a lazy summer day, Connor cut a hole in the side of a perfectly ripe watermelon. Connor then proceeded to fuck the watermelon. If you are ever offered fresh fruit at the Easterling house, turn it down.
Oh, the great Gazoo! You got him good on that one. Oh my goodness, you don't want to be eating any large fruit items around the Easterling household. And pumpkin season's coming up, so I'm worried for the pumpkins over there.
That's right, they're already pre-carved, so who knows what he's going to do.
Holy moly.
Listen, if you're going to fuck a pumpkin, just remember, blow the candle out first or you'll very much regret it. You see, Connor, this is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass. Oh, no, wait, that's The Big Lebowski. This is what happens when you promise to provide weekly facts about yourself and don't. And I think they're only going to get worse from here. So I sure hope that your mom isn't listening. Okay, let's move on to game number 3.
Game number 3.
All right, in game number 3, Barstow beat Gainesville the Gainesvillians in what was clearly the shootout of the week. Barstow was the high man, and the Gainesvillians, I just want to point this out, if Danny had hit 100%, not only would he have won, but he would have been the high man for the week with 177 points. Kelly was already the high man, but he was also already at 100%, but that's not his fault. He did the best he could do and was the high man. But Danny could have been yours.
I tell you, it was probably because he could have won if he didn't start Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, and I think that won over James Cook, and James Cook was on the decline. He's been averaging 25 points a game, so I guess you would start James Cook first, but James Cook let him down because this was the 5th game, and it was the only game that James Cook had under 5 points. So yeah, I guess it was Danny's fault, but that's got to be a hard pill to swallow, especially when you were 3rd highest points in the league.
Yeah, I mean, again, in a shootout like that, to come away a loser, especially if you could have made a couple different decisions. But you know what? Life is tough. Life is hard. And again, his Eagles, he's feeling the burn this week. So, Danny, have a cocktail. Try to forget your woes. And we'll move on to game number 4.
Game number 4.
All right, game number 4. I got my ass kicked. There's not a whole lot to be said. If I was at 100%, I would have had 28 more points and I would have won because CMK 95% was close enough to 100%. They only could have had 3.5 more points, but I lost. They get the W. I take the L, and I made the mistake of believing in Jameson Williams against the mighty, vaunted Cincinnati Bengals defense, so I deserve all the pain.
Yeah, when I took a look at it, that was your big mistake, is not starting Stephon Diggs, either over Brown or Williams. I mean, Stephon is he came on the last week or so, and yeah, you went with Jameson Williams. That was a questionable decision, and it cost you the game. Tony's team also had double digits on all his players except for the kicker. So he scored as many as he could. Like you said, he pretty much only missed about 3 or 4 points there. So I feel bad because I tried to fire you last week, but it just didn't take.
Well, the best part is we go into the Monday night game, too, and I've got Patrick Mahomes going, who's capable of putting up some points, but I'm also playing it against Travis Kelce, so it's like, this is great. He just keeps, Kelce with a touchdown. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucked. I knew by the end of the first quarter that, like, all right, I'm going to take the loss. That's fine. I'm just going to, polish the trophy one more time and just start preparing to say goodbye at the end of the season.
Well, no, everyone's pretty much paired up. It's only those two teams at 4-1, the Croningers on each side at the top, and then everyone else is either 3 wins or 2 wins, except for one person, whoever's dragging their ass around.
We could hope that maybe if they get together for Thanksgiving dinner, maybe, the stuffing is poisoned and they all have a couple bad weeks because of it.
That's when you make all the trades and you take all their players.
That's right. I hope that they're just like, what happened to you guys? I don't know. We had some oyster stuffing and I just don't think it was right. Cool. Hey, you want to trade? That's what it's become, Scott. I'm rooting for people to get food poisoning and make poor decisions.
Well, sometimes you got to make that move.
All right, Scott. We still have one more game to get to. I'm sure you're not thrilled about it, but let's move on to game number 5.
Game number 5.
All right, so Scott, your Walt Disney Imp Daddies, you lose to the Electric Mayhem, who aren't even around. They're in the middle of the Okefenokee Swamp.
Well, they got the second lowest point score. They had their son trying to manage the team the best it could and still only got barely over 100 points. They did a terrible job. They did a horrible job. Oh, wait a minute. Word coming in that, I did worse. I did worse. I absolutely stunk up the league. Even my number one defense, the number one defense in the league, was the Seattle Seahawks, and they got negative points for me this week. So it's pretty much indicative of how my entire week has been going.
Well, Scott, you do know that if you had hit 100%, you would have won, but not if both of you guys were at 100%.
Yeah, there's no way I could have won. No way I could have won this game. I think it was in the cards that I was not going to win this game, and I'm fine with that. I had half my team on buys. I knew week 5 was going to be a tough week because of bye weeks, but didn't think it would be this tough, especially against, I thought I had a chance against the Swamp Dweller, but he came out and he bam, right in my goodness. So,
any thoughts on Joe Flacco before we take a look ahead?
Joe Rockhead Flacco. Joe Rockhead Flacco. I think we got a picture of him, don't we? Joe Rockhead Flacco.
You betcha we do.
That's right. Look at him. He's going to lead us to victory. Look at that chin. Look at that brow. Those furry eyebrows. Come on, Joe Rockhead.
Should we take a quick moment just to remember the Jake Browning era?
No, fuck that guy.
No?
Fuck him. I warned him on this podcast. It's not a podcast. It's an update. I warned him here, though, Andy. I warned him right here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said, don't be the reason that we lose, Browning, because then you're going to get fucking fired, and he's fucking fired. He's out of there. You're gone. Well, he's still around, but he's not. We got Flacco now. Upon which we rest our dreams. Flacco is a rockhead himself. He's thrown the ball now for 3 out of the 4 AFC North teams. He only needs Pittsburgh after he leaves us. So we'll see if he makes it over there.
He's collecting jerseys. All right, before we get out of here real quick, let's just make a look ahead to next week.
Yeah.
Next week, we've got Justin taking his 4-1 record against Danny's 2-3 record, and Double Trouble taking their 4-1 record against, let's see here, the Walt Disney Imp Daddies, who are 1-4.
I am going to predict that I win by at least 30 points. I'm going to win. I'm making an exhausted Grand Poobah declaration here that the Imp Daddies will beat Double Trouble by at least 30 points this week. Bank it.
As a gambler, would you be interested in making a wager?
Well, for people who take wagers, I have to find that person because I certainly don't see him anywhere in this room.
All right. Hey, by the way, nobody got knocked out of the King's Tourney this week, so congratulations to all of us. All right. Also, quickly looking ahead, Barstow takes their 3-2 record against CMK 95%, who is 2-3, and in a similar matchup, the Muppet Babies 3-2 taking on San Dimas, also 2-3. And our last game, the Bad Guys and the Electric Mayhem, they're both 2-3 taking on each other, so at least somebody should have a 500 record when that's over. That's our look ahead. Don't really have too much more to say.
30 points. 30 points. Bam, bam.
Scott, you've given me a reason to care about sports again. I look forward to watching you beat Double Trouble by 30 points next week.
I'm going to bet all my animals. I'm going to bet Dino. I'm going to bet Hoppy, Baby Puss, Bird. I'm going to bet them all. I'm putting them all into the middle.
Man. All right, well.
Betty may not like it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to bet the kids, too. Roxy and Chip. I'm going to push them into the rubble that I'm betting.
Who the fuck are Roxy and Chip? You mean Pebbles and Bam Bam?
Those are the kids. Those are the Rubble kids.
Oh, did they? No.
Yeah.
Pebbles was the Flintstones kid, and Bam Bam was the Rubbles kid.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they also had two babies. They had Roxy and Chip. The Rubbles were productive. They were flowered with kids.
I don't remember any of this, but now I'm probably going to have to create an image. Hey, do you think that? Do you think Connor has ever seen an episode of the Flintstones?
He doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about.
I know.
He thinks this is an episode of Roseanne or something with John Goodman playing Fred Flintstone.
I mean, do you?
He doesn't even know what that is.
By the way, do you think Connor even watches these?
Connor, no, I don't think. I mean,
I know everybody else in the league seems to watch them and they enjoy them, but
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Connor's real anymore. I think he might be AI generated.
So you're saying that you think Brooks has created an AI-generated child, man-child, whatever you want to call him. He's not.
No, I think he had a kid one time named Connor, but that guy's run off to Europe somewhere. He's living it up in the high life, and so to make it seem like he brought another person, he's won another team in our league, so he just created this 19-year-old version of what his son would be, and so Brooks is in the swamp, quote unquote, but he's really masterminding his double attempt at taking over the League of Thrones to get his trophy back. Since he was the first champion, he's trying to be the last champion. I can see through his plans.
Yeah, it sounds like you've also given me a couple more ideas for future Connor facts. All right, I think that's it. We should wrap up because God forbid we push this into another 20-minute episode. We promised people these would be short, they would be quick, and then every week it's a 22-minute endeavor of beauty.
I got to go to a concert. I got to go see the Way Outs and the Gruesomes play. So
is that a Flintstones reference or just something that's went over my head?
They're all Flintstone references. You didn't hear it, but I even referenced Arnold the Paperboy earlier.
No, I remembered some of that stuff, but just you're like, if you're going to talk, you got to talk about, what was it, Rock Hudson? Or
no, it was Stoney Curtis.
Yeah, was it Stoney Curtis? We haven't even talked about Mr. Slate, his boss. Trust me, I'm familiar with
Mr. Slate, yeah.
The Flintstones. All right, people are screaming at their phones as they're sitting on the toilet going, wrap it the fuck up. So this has been the Throne Zone 2025 with Scott and Andy. I hope you guys are enjoying this shit. Send in ideas if you have any. I'm Andy.
Yeah, where do you want to see us? Give us the top place that you'd like to see us broadcast from.
I do have a whole fucking list, but I'm willing to, take suggestions.
We're open to ideas. We're not set in stone.
We're open to ideas.
Set in granite.
Hey, pay us enough and we'll fucking come to your school. I don't care. I'm
not set in Flintstone.
All right. Okay. Yabba dabba do, everybody. Good night.
Hey, I look good. I'm Scott. I look good.
We both look good.
The Throne Zone